All right, let's actually do this. I know it's been like a long time. Well, it's been like just about a week since our last show together. Um, I've been really busy. Let me go ahead and okay, yeah, I can actually see all these guys' comments and stuff in the chat right here. Let me go ahead and enlarge that because I'm basically blind. Hold on. All right, back at it again. Back at it again. For all of my actual followers who knows where I stand, you may be wondering, it's like, why are you wearing a MAGA hat, right? It's just all for rage bait, but you just watch. You watch. There's going to be a lot of, boomers who are sheep who follow Trump and his administration who's going to come in this comments and they're going to drop me a follow. They're going to drop me a like because they just see this hat and they're just going to say, "Oh, he's one of us. He's one of us." And so that's kind of why I'm doing it. The topic of today's show is going to be what the future of America is looking like. The future of America and the future of Florida. Let me go ahead and fix my mic real quick. Dude, I need like a new I need like a new arm and everything. Dude, I cannot wait till I actually get a studio. It's going to go so hard. It's going to go so hard. There's going to be a day when one day I start this show and I'm just going to be in the new studio and it's going to be amazing. Anyways, so for one, do I support this hat? I think it has a good meaning. Make America great again, right? Has a good meaning. Obviously, the leadership who proposed this meaning is not doing a very good job at it. For one, why are we in the war of Iran right now? We're fighting a whole nother foreign country's war whenever we should not be fighting. It's like, this reminds me of like a situation where you be at school, right? And you see like the small kid getting bullied or whatever, except the person who is bullying the small kid is, yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. Anyways, I'm really tired if y'all can't tell. My voice is super quiet. Um I don't have Bowden on the show with me tonight. Maybe he'll hop in later on tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and actually pull up the stream on YouTube real quick so I can actually watch. Hold on. Y'all just give me like 2 seconds. All right, now I can actually keep track of how many viewers we have. 13 is watching now. All right. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Anyways, tonight we're really going to get into what the future of America is looking like from now till 2028. Do I think the gas prices are going to get any lower? Probably not, right? Because you have to understand the gas prices right now should already be low as it is. We just took over Venezuela. Venezuela is now a puppet to the U.S. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world, but we're not using it to our advantage. We're not using it to our advantage. Our gas prices should be lower, but the problem though is you have these billionaires who owns these energy companies, oil companies, who sees the opportunity that we're in a war and it kind of gives them the excuse. Well, it does give them the excuse of hyping up the gas prices much larger than it really should be. You know, I could just go on a rant here about about YouTube's algorithm. But honestly, what's the point? What's the point, right? I'm gonna go ahead and go back on OBS. There we go. What's the point? My I wish I can find another platform to actually do this stuff on. And there's so much I want to say that I just can't say. Otherwise, my content would be shadow banned or taken down. And unfortunately, that's just how it is, right? There's no other platform that I can actually go on and get a significant amount of viewers. Whenever I say significant, I mean as in like maybe 30 steady viewers, right? Without YouTube shadow banning me. Could it be done on X? Maybe, but you have to have the followers to do it on X. Same thing goes with TikTok, right? I would love to do, as much as I hate the platform of TikTok, I would love to do lives on there. But you need a certain amount of followers to even begin doing live streams on TikTok, which I think is ridiculous. But also at the same time, though, it actually does bring more viewers to creators because there's a lot less competition, I guess you would say, right? You don't have a whole bunch of people who are all streaming at the same time. That is, whether these people get one or two viewers, if you add it all up together, that's actually a lot of people. Anyways, besides all that, I'm gonna try to get Bowden on the stream later on tonight. YouTube verify system. This live is an official LGBTQ plus verified safe space. Host is a confirmed. Yeah. Okay, buddy. Obviously, this is just a troll. But you know what's real funny too, though, is I said I don't know if you were listening to me earlier whenever I actually first started the stream, but I'm only wearing this hat just so that way I can have these MAGA people see this stream and be like, oh, I'm gonna subscribe to this guy. This guy must be MAGA all the way. I'm not a puppet under Trump, all right? I'm not a sheep. I'm not gonna be led to the slaughterhouse, right? But who knows? I was actually gonna wear my fishback hat for stream tonight, and I just saw this hat laying on my desk, and I'm just like, I think that's the go-to for tonight. Daisy, how come every time I start streaming, you wanna start being loud? I have a rabbit right next to me, guys. Every time she was quiet for like hours before stream, and as soon as I start streaming, here she is like hopping in her cage and stuff, and it's crazy work. Anyways, so there's a few things I want to discuss, right? One of them being, if y'all haven't seen the last stream, it actually got taken down. Was it last stream or no? Yeah, I think it was last stream. It got taken down because we had a debate whether me and this other kid we had a debate whether marijuana was do you do I like Iran or not? No, I don't like Iran, nor do I like Israel. I don't like Palestine. I don't like Israel. I don't like Iran. It's one of those things where people say, "Oh, you're against Iran, so you must be for Israel." It's like, no, buddy, I'm actually not for either side. I have my reasons, but that's for a whole nother stream. I think I discussed that a while back on my show or on my channel actually. I need like a Red Bull or something, bro. Hold on, I'm gonna switch out my Zen. But do I like Iran though? If you're referring about like the whole war, I think the war itself is necessary to a certain extent. Today we have the Zen Wintergreen 6 milligrams. But anyways, the war itself, I think it's necessary to a certain extent. What I mean by that is we did it on the wrong circumstances, right? Because let's look at the Iraq war, for example, right? Bush, during the time, said we need to put our troops in the Middle East. We need to go kill these bad people because they're hiding weapons of mass destruction. Turns out there was no weapons of mass destruction. It was all just an excuse to get us over there and start a forever war that included a lot of money laundering and so on and so on. I think we're kind of dealing with the same thing, except it's a little bit different now. And what I mean by that is it gives Israel the excuse to wage war on the surrounding companies around it. And if you don't believe me, go watch Tucker Carlson's interview that was actually taken down, but you can still find clips of it. You can go watch Tucker Carlson's interview with the Israeli ambassador, Mike Huckabee, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think is what it was. And he actually said that Israel's goal in the end was to make greater Israel, which would require, and he actually said it is in the interest of Israel to go to war with Lebanon, with Jordan, Egypt eventually, Iraq, Syria, but right now Iran's just the stone to step on to get across that river in order to make it to that point. Yo, what's up, Shanley? I think that's how you say your name, Shanley. It's my screen's like really far away from you guys. It's kind of hard for me to read names, but what's up? But I think that eventually, though, this is going to go somewhere where a lot of people are going to look back and say, "What did we do? We made the wrong move." And so, and look, here's the thing: Iran's not a good country, right? For say, they're not like a good country, right? But I can name you 20 other countries that says death to America, that chants death to America every single day. And they still don't nuke us, you know what I'm saying? One of them being China, for example. There is a lot of countries that does hate America, but at the same time though, we don't just wage war on them. Look at North Korea, right? If we truly were just in a war with Iran for the and a lot of people who follow Donald Trump, actually Donald Trump says this himself. His excuse for the Iranian war is the fact that they chant death to America and so on and so on, right? Look at North Korea. They do the same thing every day. Matter of fact, North Koreans hate Americans. A lot of North Koreans, I bet you probably don't even know we exist as human beings. There are people over there that are brainwashed by the Kim family to believe that anybody who is not North Korean is just lizard people essentially, right? They're demons essentially. There was a video of a guy I actually watched. I think it was I can't remember what video it was. I mean, I can't remember who it was, but he made a video where he visited North Korea and he was talking to these North Koreans over there. And the person, the tour guide or whatever who was going through North Korea with him, allowed him the chance to actually speak with North Koreans, but it was like at a minimum. It was very few. And they actually did not like him too much. They actually told him that he asked him, it's like, do you not like Americans? And then one of the boys over there said, no, we hate Americans, but you're all right, right? You know, he was saying, but you know, we don't like Americans, but you're all right, right? I can name you a bunch of countries who has nuclear weapons who chants death to America every day. Would they actually nuke us? Not if they're in, you know, they would not have to be in their right mind to actually nuke us. We would obliterate them. Iran's the same way, right? The only difference between Iran and North Korea is Iran does have terrorists in their government, just like a lot of the other Middle Eastern countries. But my whole issue with it, though, is if you're going to justify the war of Iran by saying these guys hate us, they hate you, they hate me, they hate our tradition, they hate our culture, we need to go to a war with them. That's not a good enough reason. It's not a good enough reason, right? Because if you're going to go by that logic, look at the Jews in Israel. Read the Talmud. Read the holy book of the Jews. It literally says that they believe that it is okay to rape any girl who is below the age of 9 as long as she was a goyim or a Gentile who is not Jewish. Jews hate me and you just the same amount as Iranians hate me and you. They hate me and you just the same amount as Russians, or honestly, Russia's not our greatest enemy now, right? But just setting an example here, they hate me and you just as much as North Koreans do. So if our end goal in the end is to bring peace, is to end the hatred, is to end the holy war in the Middle East, why are we not doing something about the Jews in Israel's government? Used to, Israel was a good country, and what I mean by that, I'm not talking about the Israel that currently exists now. I'm talking about, look at Jerusalem, right? You ever heard of like the Kingdom of Jerusalem? The Kingdom of Jerusalem was ruled by a Christian king. He was Christ-centered. He put Christ above all. Now you look at Israel. You have pride flags everywhere, right? Pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. Pride is what leads you to hell. As you know, let's see here. Let me look. Presh Too Busy, I think that's your name. Sorry, my screen's like really far away. America is the present day Babylon. It is. It is in a lot of ways. All big empires fail, or all big empires fall. Eventually, that is true. Every empire throughout the history of mankind has fallen at some point. But I would say the counter argument I would have for that though is I'm not saying America's always going to stand, but I don't think that America will ever fade away, though. And what I mean by that is whether there may be a name change to the United States or whatever, right? I think America, the United States specifically, would probably always exist. If you look at like what's it called? I mean, what's the United States called in Halo? I can't remember, but anyways, I think eventually maybe if you look at like Prussia, for example, back in the Napoleonic Wars or the Napoleon Wars, right? Prussia eventually formed with the surrounding countries around it, and then created what is now known as modern day Germany. I think if the U.S. does eventually fade away, it would not be because of a war. It would rather be because of diplomatic decisions to form a union with other countries, I guess you would say. But yes, that is true. Every single empire throughout the history of mankind has eventually fallen. Anyways, where was I? I get distracted very easily. Oh yeah, I think if our end goal in the end is to create a better environment, a better place in the Middle East, destroying Iran is not the way to go. Whenever I said earlier, I think the regime change in Iran is good to a certain extent. What I mean by that is, I think if we're simply at a war with them because of the fact that they chant death to America, and also we just don't like their government, like I said, I can name a ton of other countries who do that same exact thing every day as Iran, but we do not touch a war with them. Like North Korea. I've already said it, but look at North Korea. You have to understand, we are not in this war because we're trying to better Iran. We're in this war for the benefit of Israel, and Israel only. Not saying it's going to stop exist, but there would be a shift of power. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going at right there. I think eventually there would be a shift of power in some sort, and a diplomatic decision of some sort, probably later on into the future. But yeah, that's kind of like today's topic of the show. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really come into this whole stream super motivated. I'm really tired right now, and generally I would have my friend with me on my show, talking about all this stuff. He'll kind of keep my mind engaged a little bit, but whenever it comes to actually like one-on-one me talking to the streams, I guess I'm like okay at it, but I don't know. It's just not really my style. I have to talk to somebody on my channel. That's just how it has to be for me. I'm gonna set up a poll here. Actually, I'm gonna set up a poll. Oh, one thing I was going to mention earlier, before I set up the poll. Hold up. Before I set up the poll, I was going to mention earlier. I said I was wearing this hat on the stream, basically just like for rage baiting, essentially, or whatever, right? But I don't know. I just kind of had the idea that maybe if I wore like a MAGA hat, because obviously everybody's kind of against MAGA right now. I believe like what Donald Trump's approval rating was 27%. I think it was 27%. I could be wrong on that, but it was somewhere in the 20s. I don't know. But I just don't see how a lot of people, especially brain rot content on YouTube live streams, you'll have like 2,000 people just watching this straight up brain rot. Makes no sense. It just kills your brain cells. And yet they'll get like 500,000 followers in a matter of like 2 weeks. Just doing brain rot stuff on streams. And it's crazy to me. It's absolutely wild. But I don't know. That's just me talking, right? I'm going to set up a poll here. Let's see. What should it be? I'm thinking something like, since we're on the topic of followers, in the end, I really don't care whether I get like 1 million followers. Like, I'm not looking for 1 million followers, nor do I actually want 1 million followers. I don't want that responsibility on my channel. I don't want to be stuck feeling obligated every single day to push out content. Used to, for those of who don't know, my channel before this was actually a gaming channel, and I got rid of, I think I had like over 200 streams and a ton of videos that I spent a ton of time editing, and it just didn't really get a lot. I didn't get a lot out of it, really. Honestly, I actually have, I said this a couple streams back, but I actually wanted to also turn this channel into a fishing channel as well. It's like a fishing / politics. Let's see, hold up here. That's how things work nowadays. Stupid things get more attentions. Yeah, unfortunately. But like I was just about to say, I thought about making this channel into a fishing channel as well, but it's mainly going to be centered around politics. I have all the footage recording for the whole fishing thing. I just recently got a new boat and everything. Take it out, have camera set up around it. It's just a lot of editing. But yeah, it's crazy though, the amount of stupid stuff that actually gets people's attention. And yeah, I don't know, man. Look, this reminds me of that one guy. He was a streamer. I don't know if he still does content. He probably does. He makes a ton of money from it. But you ever heard of like the Ice Cream Man, where he sits there and he just makes a fool out of himself for several hours a day? But he makes so much money out of it, though. He makes so much money. And he like puts a toilet seat around his neck, and he just does like this. He's done super stupid stuff, like real stupid stuff. Things that I would be ashamed if anybody saw me doing. And then this dude just streams it to thousands of people every day. And then the entire time you have people who obviously gives into the bait, and they'll start typing in the comments going, "Oh, this is ridiculous, change your, you should change your life around," or whatever, right? And then, but those same people who does that, they'll also donate like $20 at a time and tell him that stuff. They'll donate like $20 and say hey Piggy, this is stupid. You need to stop doing these kinds of streams. And then this guy, he acts like he cares about it, but in all honesty, that's what he wants. He wants people to engage in a harmful, negative way on his channel, because it brings more attention to his channel, and it gets all these big donations constantly just dogging on him the whole time, and he just makes so much money out of it every single night. And I don't know, I can't watch that crap, bro. It genuinely pisses me off, because like I said, before the whole political part of my channel started, it was nothing but just gaming, right? And I would actually go as far as to say, now I look at gaming channels, like people who has like 100 subscribers, for example, right? And they're sitting there streaming every single day, just gaming every single day for several hours a day. And at most, they'll get like 1 or 2 subscribers a week for growth, at most. And they seriously think that this is going to be their breakthrough in life, and they're just going to be able to get rich off of playing video games on streams their whole life, right? They think they're going to be the next Markiplier or Jacksepticeye. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And because I did it for several years, I've put several hours of editing in every single video I would do for gaming. Several hours. I think actually the most amount of time I ever spent editing on one single video, it was well over 24 hours. And it was a Call of Duty Zombies tournament thing I held, right? And it wasn't just me gaming. I actually hosted a whole tournament in Call of Duty Zombies. And it got, I think, I spent like $50 in YouTube advertisement for YouTube to put it out there to more viewers, because I truly tried my best on that video. I'm talking about, if I didn't like delete it off my channel, but it's privatized where only I can watch it. But anyways, if you actually watch that video though, you pay attention to the small details and the whole video itself, dude, there's such a crazy amount of work I put into that video. Not just like, first of all, there was organizing, right? Second of all, I like behind the scenes, I had to actually search the internet and talk to a ton of people see who actually want to participate in this tournament, because it wasn't like a you put money up front and pay to join this tournament. No, it was completely free. I did it for my channel. You can join that tournament for completely free and be on a YouTube video and actually win real money. And I think I got like 6 or 7-ish people, 5 or 6 people on that video who actually competed in that tournament, and they all had a lot of fun doing it, and I had a lot of fun hosting it, and I paid $50 to the winner at the end, and it was all live in the video, and it was not scripted whatsoever, not scripted at all. And I spent well over 24 hours in editing that video. It was like a 20-minute video. It was crazy. It was a lot of work. And after that, I spent $50 for YouTube advertising on that video, because I saw that video, and obviously nothing's perfect, right? We can strive to perfection, but we can never actually be perfect. But I saw that video. I was like, this is the best content I have ever made in my life right here. Like, this is the kind of video that somebody with 2 million subscribers would have produced. And I released it, spent the money on the advertisement, and it barely got anything. I think it got 2,000 views and 20-ish likes or something like that. But those 2,000 views, like 1.9 thousand of those views were just from YouTube advertisements. And I think I got like 1 subscriber from that video. And I saw that, and I was like, wow, this is actually really difficult. And so anyways, what are the chances of actually popping off on a gaming channel? Pretty low. It can be done. It happens all the time. But if you're talking about like 1 out of 1,000, I would say it's probably about 1 out of 1,000, if not more. And so I have a friend, his name is General Insanity, and he runs his own gaming channel. He streams every night. He's done it for years and years and years. And he was stuck at 700 subscribers for years. And just recently, he made a switch up on his content. And what he does, although I think it's kind of ridiculous a little bit, but it's look, you gotta do what you gotta do to get, attention from the people, right? But he basically gets a piece of paper and he writes on there with a marker and says subscribe, yes or no, and he puts on a hat backwards, and then he puts that paper on the hat on his forehead, and he just kind of like has his camera at like a funny angle on his face. And ever since he did that, he went from 700 subscribers to over 3,000 subscribers in the matter of just like 3 days. And it's content like that just kind of gets me. It's like, I'm glad he finally got a breakthrough of some sort to get, followers or whatnot, right? I'm glad that he's actually making money from it. But it just doesn't make sense to me that the way the algorithm works on YouTube, you can put a lot of effort into your content. And then some Joe comes along and he does something. You have to kind of think outside of the box, right? But he does something just as little as just writing on a piece of paper and just sticking it in his hat. And then all of a sudden, everybody's interested. Everybody's interested. And everybody's like, yeah, I have to subscribe to this guy, right? That's not an attack on him by any means at all. I mean, like I said, props to him. If I would have thought about that, I wouldn't have done it, but simply because that's not the style of my content. But hey, to each their own, right? To each their own. I'm happy for him. He actually, got the breakthrough he deserved. He's been working many years on his channel, and he actually got something out of it. So, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, basically, where was I at again? I totally forgot, bro. I need like a big cup of coffee or some sort. I'm like really tired. I'm like having to drag myself through this right now, but it's all right. It's all right. What do I think about Drewski skit on Erica? I have to watch it actually. Hold on. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let me look. Is that the thing? No, that can't be it. There's a parody account on X. It's like a Charlie Kirk parody account, and he just acts like it's Charlie Kirk, and it's just so funny. But anyways, you're over analyzing stuff and you're doing too much. You could say that. I mean, maybe. I'm just speaking off of my personal experiences, though. You don't have to agree with what I say, but sometimes you just got to do less. I mean, yes and no. I mean, like, obviously it works, right? What you're saying does work, but I'm just saying the chances, you just can't expect to start up a gaming channel for it to pop off like people think it would. You have to think. There are a million people out there who is currently trying on their gaming channel, right? It's like if you're in a NASCAR race, right? There's like 40 something cars on the track, right? And you start off at last place, right? You start your channel, you start off at 0 subscribers. You're in that NASCAR race, you start off at last place. It's really, really hard to gain those positions. Same thing with YouTube, because just like in the NASCAR race, how you're having to compete with everybody else in that race, same goes with YouTube. You're having to compete with everybody else who has a gaming channel, and there's a million of them out there. So, but yeah, I mean, maybe I'm over analyzing things. I'm just speaking off of my personal experience, though. But yeah. Anyways, about the skit, Drewski skit on Erica. Let me look that up real quick. Drewski skit on Erica. Drewski skit Erica. I have to like lean over because my mouse is like in front of me by a lot. I have to really lean over to get it. Is it on YouTube or is it on X? I imagine it might be on YouTube. Let's see. Is it like 8 minutes long?
Nah, Drewski's back with another one out. Conservative Women in America Act. You know it's Erica Kirk.
All right, I'm watching
You
it.
see the fireworks, the outfit. I could already tell it's Erica Kirk.
Get on your feet!
Insta is where I saw it around 1 minute. Okay, I got like a video, like an 8-minute video, so I'm just going to skip to where it's at.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
How about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
Dude, it's so accurate. The how about we're praying for all the troops right now, and it's like how about all the kids that died? Oh, it breaks my heart. It's so accurate. It's actually pretty accurate.
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God.
Can I speak in Indonesian?
That
No,
is why we
I'm
say our
American.
prayers. We are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the whole
Dude, do you know who Erica Kirk actually reminds me of? I'll tell you who Erica Kirk reminds me of. You ever seen Kenneth Copeland, that super demonic looking pastor? And then he was the pastor who like in communion in his church, he like slit his hand with a knife and squeezed blood into the communion cup of wine, and then he did the other thing with the other person. They both put their blood in. Dude, it was so weird. It was like a satanic cult ritual thing, and they like mixed his blood with the wine and drank it, basically explaining how it signifies the blood of Christ from him. And it's like, dude, that was crazy. But I don't know, it's the eyes for me though. It's the eyes of Erica Kirk. It looks just like Kenneth Copeland. It's so creepy, I swear, dude. I spoke about this with Bowden on the previous stream. Erica Kirk reminds me of, dude, she is a spawn of Satan, I swear. She is a spawn of Satan. Matter of fact, if you look where Charlie Kirk show was held a while back, it was like in a library or something like that in their house or whatever, like a book section in their house or something like that. Anyways, but whenever Charlie Kirk was alive and he did the shows on there, he had a picture in the back of their wedding, of Erica and Charlie's wedding. And now Erica Kirk recently went on there, and that picture is no longer there. The picture of the wedding is no longer there. It is actually crazy. It's actually crazy. You cannot tell me that woman is mourning, bro. You cannot tell me that woman's actually sad about this whole thing. She totally had something to do with this. They got the same look. They do. It's actually wild. Dude, it would not surprise me if Erica Kirk was actually like in the same family as Kenneth Copeland. They look too much alike. Like it can. I'm convinced now that that's just like I'm convinced Erica's just the daughter of Copeland at this point. It's wild. Let's see. I don't know which clip you're exactly talking about, but there's like multiple clips though of him acting like Erica.
Message Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and put on I'm gonna put on some audio so you guys can hear it as well. Let's see, output audio existing. Thank you. Dude, it's she tries to act so patriotic. Did you see where recently Turning Point USA like endorsed Byron Donalds or something like that? I know Ben Shapiro just endorsed him like yesterday or today or something. I used to really love Ben Shapiro, but now I'm just, you can keep the Shapiro crap over there. I'm just at that point now.
4, 3, 7. Oh, are you good?
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country.
Dude, how old is this?
America is built on their backs.
10 hours.
Yes. Because they are the ones who mattered most.
Grok, who is this? That's Erica Kirk, the actress comedian starring in Drewski's satirical skit. I think Grok's got
This
a
is
bit
actually pretty funny. Pretty accurate, too. I think I'm gonna make a separate channel. As much as I was dogging on gaming channels earlier, it actually is kind of fun though. Yo, what's up? Really random. What is up? But yeah, I don't know. I think oh, by the way, before you dog on me about my hat, this hat's just totally rage bait. I'm just wearing it so that way if some 55-year-old grandma scrolls through who just loves Donald Trump with all her heart and she sees this, she goes, I'm a subscribe. And you know, it's whatever. I was actually meaning to wear this hat, which I will actually put on now. I don't know. For a little bit at least. Got my fish back for Florida hat. But yeah, no, those skits were pretty funny though. I'm gonna see. I found your channel through gaming. Yeah, so a while back, this channel was just strictly for gaming, and now I actually privatized all my gaming content on my channel now. And so the reason I did that is because I want to focus my channel more on political stuff now. So yeah, I kind of privatized all that. And also I actually just recently interviewed a candidate for mayor in Jacksonville in Florida on this channel. And I privatized all my gaming content before that interview just because I wanted it to seem more professional. And I was meaning to do it anyways, but yeah, you know, whenever I asked him, I was like, you know, I would love to interview my channel. I would love to interview you. And he was like, yeah, I would love to have you interview me too. And anyway, so we got the interview set up. And the night before the whole thing actually went down, I went through my channel, privatized everything that just was not professional at all as far as gaming and stuff. And because I didn't want him to look at the channel and be like, oh, this is just a gaming channel, right? Just do what you would do normally, or just do what you would normally not do with a new channel. You will definitely get what you want. Yeah, I mean, not do with a new channel. Hold on. Am I reading that correctly? Hold up. Just do what you would normally not do. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure. Eventually, I'm actually getting a house. And right now, you know, I live with my parents, right? But eventually, you know, I'm in the process of building a house right now. And I have a whole separate room in there just for a studio for YouTube. And I cannot wait. Dude, I cannot wait. Things are going to look so much more professional. I can actually, you know, it'd make me happy. It actually give me the feeling that I actually have my own space and I can be as loud as I want. But yeah, I don't know. You said lag, I think. Is my stream lagging? I'm saying do something unusual. On this channel or a new channel? I just don't know what I would do that's unusual. I mean, dude, I don't know. It's kind of hard to think of new things to do that is unusual. You know, in the past, I thought about doing like you ever seen the Bean Boozle challenge where it's like really nasty jelly beans and it's like you take a chance or whatever, right? I thought about doing something like that every time I died in a video game on a stream or something like that, but I was meaning to do it and I just never got around to it. Yeah, I'm thinking though. Do you have any suggestions? I'm gonna throw on my MAGA hat again. Is the stream lagging right now on OBS? It shows like a red bar, but it says the kilobits is decent though. I don't know. If it is, it is. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm still thinking of what I could do. I mean, I still want to make this channel a fishing channel as well. But dude, I have so much footage I still have to edit. I'm not excited for it. Every time, like every day, whenever I say I'm going to edit and actually get to work and making content, I just postpone it every single time. I come up with some excuse for myself and it's like, oh, but I got to run to town. And I just never actually do it. I see lag. Sorry. Probably. Let me check. Let me check on my channel on Google to see if it's lagging. I think it's delayed. I don't know about lag though. I don't know. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Maybe tonight I can actually throw somebody on the stream who is interesting to talk to. So, all right, I will see y'all in a little bit.